Hey everyone, I'm Nick and welcome to the channel. This, you may recognize, is my 2004 Mercedes S-Class. I recently had it on the channel when I did the EGR valve, and today we're doing the spark plugs and spark plug wires. All 16 of them, because it has a twin spark system, so double the parts. I also noticed a slight vibration at idle, and I'm thinking it might be the ignition system, so hopefully these plugs and wires fix that. So let's get to it. The first thing we're going to do is remove the engine cover, and to do that we're going to start by removing these air intake pipes. So just pull back gently, pop it out of place and remove it. Same thing on the other side, pull back, there we go. Front part here, pull straight up and then out, and then forward towards the front. There's a clip right here, the mount's right here. And then the rear part, which contains the air filters, which we'll be replacing, mount on 4 little rubber posts, 2 here and 2 there. So you can kind of either just grab it and lift up, or you can kind of pull on the little retainers around the posts. There we go. There we go. And now we have access to what we're working on. So we've got our coils, 4 on each side, and then 2 plug wires from each coil to the 16 spark plugs. Now the way the cylinders are numbered is the left side 1, 2, 3, 4, right side 5, 6, 7, 8. On each coil pack we have a little plug, so we're going to undo those. Just wiggle it. There's like a little latch here. It's pretty soft. There we go. Now one thing you want to make sure you're doing is working on a cold engine. 1, it's safer, you're less likely to burn yourself, and 2, it's also better for when you're removing the spark plugs. The ignition wire set I'm using I got from FCP Euro, it's from BBT, the part number ZK0440. Now to remove the coil pack and the spark plug wires, there's a T30 screw right here. Break it free. Just a little T30 bolt, and we can pull that off. It gives us some better access. But next we have to remove the spark plug wires. And to do that, you can use a 17mm wrench, or the tool that's actually designed for it, which is a 17mm wrench that's offset, I think, 20mm. And that will allow you to get under here and just pry it off. So there we go. So the way that works is it just grabs under here and it lets you pry it off. You may be able to do it by hand. It'll really depend on the condition of your car and your spark plug wires. Let me see if I can do it by hand on this one. Yeah, but this will vary a lot depending on your car. It could be really stuck, or it could be doable by hand. So you could potentially do it with a regular 17, but this really will let you get into that dip right there in the valve cover and get to your part. All right. Let's find our replacement sizes. And we're gonna try to match up our lengths. That looks right here. The short length, essentially on the rear plugs, is always labeled as G, and then it's KKHI on this side. Our most common size in our bag is what is going to be our marked as G, and I think it's going to be this one on this plug. So that means we should have at least 4 of this length, probably 8. Nope, that one's longer. There we go. Okay. So I've confirmed there's actually 9 of the short ones, because on the far side, there's one cylinder where there's 2 short wires. And then this front one, cylinder 1, has the longest wire, which is like this. So if we compare this one here, it's shorter by a little bit, but this one actually matches perfectly. Okay. Good to know. Just sort your stuff and you'll be just fine. And to replace this, you just pop it off and pop this on here. I want to make sure this Goes in there. There we go. And then you can pop the other one off. That. Make sure our length is a short one here. Yep. There we go. Perfect. This one right here. I'll put these aside. And now we keep going. Break the next coil pack free. Okay, that one's tight. I'm gonna use my tool here. Just pop it on right there and pull back. Let this, pop our tool on, pull back. There we go. So our long one goes towards the front. Now I have to make sure I find the right length here, which I believe is going to be either, it might be the longest option, yeah. There's a slightly shorter one here, is definitely shorter here, so cylinder 2 is our next longest option. This should be one of our short guys, right here. There we go. Pretty satisfying pop when you remove that. Cylinder 2. We'll keep going, cylinder 3. Rear wire here. It's a short one, just like on the others. It's also labeled as G, and our K is going to be our medium length here, which is the one we have 4 of. And another, if you're not sure, another thing to note on the left side when you're facing the engine, the top one goes towards the front. And on the other side, that's also true. So our top plug wire goes towards the front spark plug. There we go. We're gonna confirm. This should be the same as the one we just did. There we go, number 4. And before we take the spark plugs out, we want to blow the area out with compressed air because we don't want anything to fall into the engine. Now we can get to work on getting our spark plugs out. So they should be 5/8. So I'll be using these plugs. Got a set of 16. Yep. And so this spark plug socket is actually magnetic. So once it's undone, it will just hold and I can pull it out more easily. And another thing that's nice is this is on like a ball mount, so it should be a little helpful to get things out. Just while we're here and everything's clear, see GL on the front, GH, GK, and GK. So cylinder 3 and 4 are both identical on this side. Now let's get this on here. Okay. That's on there. Use my bendy ratchet here. Now I don't know if these spark plugs or wires have ever been replaced on this car. That looks pretty good. Not brand new, but not bad. They are Mercedes parts. And here's our new plug. Let's do a comparison, actually. All right, now we'll put this one in. And we want to start threading it by hand because you do not want to cross thread this stuff. Getting it started with my fingers. That is spark plug. First spark plug is done. Looks pretty good. If you're not sure about getting the threads in right, you can start by backing it off with it in the hole, and you'll feel it drop into the threads, and you can go. If as you're tightening you find a spot where there's like unusual resistance, try to back it all the way out and try again just in case. And the reason I'm taking it out and putting a new one in is that way it's open the least amount of time, and there's less risk of things falling in. Not that the spark plug holes are particularly exposed, but you know, just a little peace of mind to have it be in there. All right, let's move to the next one. It looks pretty good. So you tighten these up. Once it stops, it'll just stop there, and then we'll do the torque later. And the reason we're stopping when it's flush before torquing is that there is a crush washer right here. We'll compare it with the new one. As you see right here, we have a brand new crush washer, pretty square. See, that's rounded off, or rounded. Is it settled? And this side is still pretty squared. So when this gets torqued to spec, it'll seal up tightly. They all look kind of the same, which is good, consistent. All right, now we're going to torque these to spec. We're going to 28 Newton meters, and I'll work across here. And 28 Newton meters is going to crush that washer. All right, now we're going to do our spark plug wires. So one thing we want to do before we pop them on is get some dielectric grease. I'm going to put a little bit of it in here because we don't want it to seize onto the plugs. All right, I'm just going to prep all of these. Okay, there we go. And we're going to start with the farthest one, number 4. And the way we're going to know it's in, so we push this on, it should click when it's attached to the spark plug. So get that on here. Let's see, maybe I could push on it with this. Let's see if I can hear it. Well, it must be on. We can plug our harness back in and torque our Torx bolts to spec, which is 8 Newton meters, so not a lot. So pretty light. Perfect. And now we're halfway done. Now we're gonna do the driver's side, which is 5, 6, 7, and 8. Really same procedure. We'll match up the wires as we go when we take them off. One thing I recommend is if you're working on the side of your car, get one of those fender covers, or wear a belt that doesn't have a metal buckle so you don't scratch your paint. It's a little bit, is it a little? Yeah, it's a little bit tighter on this side, I think. Yep, and I should have done this first. Unplug the coil packs first. Okay, there we go. Ooh, why is this one all dirty? Well, just position, I guess. All right, so our letters here are HG, KG, GG, and GK. So instead of being all the ones on the same side that are G, it does switch at the back here. So we have, this is our only one here that's long, so the longest one is most likely this. Yep, that matches. And then our Ks are the 2 medium length ones. And then we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Gs, so these are the short ones. And we do have 5 Gs, yep. Now these aren't labeled. They may be labeled if you get the OEM Mercedes ones. They may have the letters on them, but on these aftermarket ones, they're not. So you see right here on the OEM plugs, this one is H. It's a little hard to see. And this one here is G. So if you have OEM wires, you can just match them on the labels here. But if you don't have the OEM plugs, you can just match the lengths, which we were doing on the other side as well. On cylinder 7, same length. And on this one, we have the short one on the top side and the long one on the bottom. And I don't know if you can see here, it says A top, B bottom. And on the valve cover here, it says A and B. So it actually tells you here as well, like the top one goes towards the A side, which is towards the front. All right, that's our wires installed on the coils. Now let's get the plugs out. And while I'm here, I'm just gonna grease up the boots, just so I don't forget. Looks good. I'm gonna break these all free. Okay, here we go. Looks okay. We're gonna do this one completely because that way it'll be done. It's the hardest one. It's a good thing this is magnetic because... Okay, here we go. Back it off. 28 Newton meters, just like on the other side. Whew. All right, we got that one done. That's the hardest one. We've done number 1, or I guess first one on 5, last one on 8. Let's get all the others replaced. Whew, we are torqued here. Okay, starting at the back. Let's fish this one in first. All right, and again on the top, 8 Newton meters. And we can plug it back in. Boom. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now while we're here, let's change the air filters because when I did the EGR, I realized they needed changing. So we're just gonna grab this T25. Now these screws don't come all the way out. Just have to get them out enough. Just 4. One here, one here, one here, and one here, and same thing on the opposite side. The part number I'm using is a man filter C3698/3-2. There's 2 of them in here. You can see used versus new. Make sure it seats in here. There we go. Okay, when you flip this over, don't do it over here because that's the clean side. Same thing here. See here, we want to get it tucked in properly. We pop this on. Everything's wired in again. All right. Line it up on the little these posts here. There we go. Get our cover here. Got little clips here. They go in here. So we go in here at a slight angle, and then push that last clip down. Put these on. I'm gonna put the front part in first. Pull this back. There we go. All right, now we can test it. And by the way, this spark plug socket tool I used is from this set here. Astro magnetic spark plug set with a good magnet in it. And it comes in 5/8 with a 10-inch length total, 5/8 with a 6-inch, which I used, 9/16 with 6-inch, and 13/16 with 6 inches. So really convenient. All right, let's see. As far as I can tell, that's good. With the new plugs and wires, the car is idling much smoother. I noticed it the most at stoplights when I went to drive it. So, that's the 16 spark plugs and spark plug wires replaced. It's not a terrible job, just a little bit time consuming because there's 16 of them. I also noticed the engine's running smoother. I think it's possibly because the old spark plug wires were starting to wear out. Maybe the old spark plugs were due for a change, but the car wasn't misfiring because of the 2 spark plugs per cylinder. I'll leave links to the parts and tools I used in the video description. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.